All right, let's have some fun because I'm done being pissed off about the Cubs. It's the weekend.
Good morning. Let's see if I can piss Kap off about anything else
By the way,
in the next 15 minutes or
we
so.
do also have to get into the Terrence Shannon stuff because the King just weighed in, LeBron. So we got to get into that too.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to start with the Chicago Bears. Some interesting updates on the stadium front from Front Office Sports with the apparently non-interest from the state at a lakefront idea after a Minneapolis firm put together some renderings. Arlington Heights and Aurora are providing overtures to the Bears about a stadium future. Shot or no shot, the Bears need to just put the shovel in the ground in Arlington Heights at this point.
Oh, that's a shot. This is what I've thought from the beginning. When Arlington Heights was a thing, I said that's where they need to be. Bearstown, Arlington Heights, coat in the car, be able to walk the mall, around the ballpark, all the different shops, and then sit down comfortably at the new stadium. Chicago is out. It was a nice little ceremony for Mayor Johnson and for the Bears. I understand, probably from the Bears situation, they thought, it's tradition. We love the idea of being in Chicago. It doesn't seem the case. All these other cities are out. That should be Arlington Heights. Number one with a bullet, Cap. Number one.
Completely agree. Never thought they should be in the city. Would love to sit and talk with Kevin Warren and hear why he thinks it should be, and I would tell him why it shouldn't be. I don't understand why they're not prioritizing tailgating. All you have to do is go to a Chiefs game or some of these other places and go, wow, this looks awesome. I mean, come on now. Is it because they want them to only eat the food that they sell? Come on. They're better than that. Make the experience that much better, and you'll sell that much more merch and have that much better a team and a better experience. No, give up this ridiculous decision to want to be down here. You got all that land in Arlington Heights that you own. Build paradise, as Waddle coined it.
The whole thing, and for the two of us and many of our listeners that know the politics of Chicago, it's always a back and forth. It's always the backroom deal, the handshake. There's always going to be posturing. I grew up with it at the kitchen table talking about it. Sun Times open, Daily Southtown open, Tribune open. Read what's going on in City Hall. You learn about it as a kid.
I remember.
And as a young adult, you learn more about it. You watch the news, all the coverage, you go, there's always political. It's always posturing.
Bob Hood, Marshall Kaplan, Bruce and I fighting over the Sun-Times because we like the tabloid rather than the broadsheet. Mm-hmm. Read the front of the paper, too. It's not just sports. Yeah.
But there's no Cub game in the front.
Exactly. I'm trying to get the box scores, Dad. Sano to Beckert to Banks to who was our short? Kessinger. Yeah. That's what I wanted to read.
That's the whole thing, Shay. It's always been political. It's always been about Arlington Heights. I mean, I understand from Kevin Warren's standpoint, he's here. Nothing like being in Chicago because of if it doesn't work here, you got to move on. It's a nice little rendering that they had there, but it was just pie in the sky. It was not laughable, but it was kind of like, that looks good, but it's never going to happen. At least I don't believe it will. Because I think that's hustling backwards, quite frankly, if you're doing that. Same issues, same amenity problems if you put Soldier Field in the same area of Soldier Field. Shay.
All right, Zach LaVine posted a video on Instagram, his off-season routine. He was working out,
what is
lifting
that,
weights.
benching his bank books?
Yes. He was in the gym shooting. It's a pretty standard, classic video an NBA player posts on social media before a comeback season that was ended via injury.
By the way, do you remember when we had bank books? You would have a little pass book. You would go in and they would stamp it after the deposit.
Absolutely.
Shay and J-Moore are too young. They don't remember those.
Oh, absolutely. I remember it. It
looked like a passport.
Well, it was a sense of pride.
Yeah.
To be able to have, look how much money's in there.
$52 deposited. There you go.
There it is.
And there's with the balance, and you put it in your drawer till the next time you went to the bank to make a deposit.
The bank book.
Yes.
Anyway, Zach LaVine posted this video, and I couldn't help but notice that his house in Los Angeles was featured prominently, and not just his living space, but also a bunch of Los Angeles area landmarks were featured in this video that he posted on his Instagram. Shot or no shot, Zach LaVine will be traded to the Lakers this summer.
What are we getting back?
No, answer his question.
I'm not asking if you want to do it.
No. Answer Shay's question first. Is he going to be in Los Angeles? Well, we have a source on that, do we not?
You're the NBA source.
No, besides me. I don't mean me. I'm talking about someone that's locked in.
Like Friedel?
LeVar Ball.
We'll have to call him.
Well, what did he tell you 3 years ago?
He'll be playing for the Lakers or the Clippers.
Said he's an LA guy. He's a West Coast guy. You recall this? The
Yes.
conversation you had with him, right?
Yes.
On TV.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's still in the cards. See, when Arturas Karnisovas after the season says something different than he's ever said in that chair by saying, oh, we've got to change this, we don't like the mix. Well, that's a far cry than what he said the last 2 or 3 years. He got on his soapbox and said, I don't like this, we're going to make some changes. Well, no one told you to sign Zach LaVine. You just didn't want to rebuild. You just thought you could be able to build on what you paid Zach LaVine. So now you're stuck unless you trade him. Could he be a Laker? I think that's possible. But again, the question still stands, what are you getting back off of that team? Not much I want on that team.
Give me Austin Reeves, and they'll never do that.
I can do better than that. So
The Lakers would never give you Austin Reeves for him.
I think I would want more than that.
Well, you'd
But-
have to
but they
match
don't-
the money up, but he would be the centerpiece, and the Lakers would never give him up for Zach LaVine.
The answer is no shot. It's no shot, but it's going to be somebody, Shay.
I don't think the return at this point matters in a LaVine deal. You got to match 1 year of the money, and hey, just thank God you're rid of him. If
get
you
him
can
out.
lessen the years that you have on your ledger, that's a win.
If you told
Even if
me
you're
I'm
taking dead people.
Yeah, if you tell me I got 3 dead people and Austin Reeves, done. The Lakers would never do that. He's a really good player, and they're taking a risky guy.
You'd want more than 3 dead people. You got enough dead people on the roster now for the Bull.
But as Shay said, you have to match the money.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing you're going to be able to get.
It's a no shot with the Lakers, but I think somebody, because there's a reason why that Arturas said that. It's because there's going to be movement in some way, shape, or form. And I think it starts with LaVine. But unfair or not, he's the face of it, Cap. He's the face of it. It's whether it's unfair or not. All he knows how to do is just put his head down and try to shoot the basketball.
Yep.
You don't turn a blind eye to the offense, but it's just everything around him. As I told you a few years ago when we started this thing together, he is this era's Reggie Theus.
And they almost look alike, you know? Long and lanky, long arms. They're not a point guard. They're more of a wing guard. They're both lightly complected. They just they look alike.
Jay Moore, can you
They
do me a
play
favor?
alike. Do they not?
Jay Moore, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to put up a picture of Zach LaVine and Reggie Theus side by side.
I'm going to do that right now.
Do that for me, please.
They play the same. They're both lousy defensively. I know Reggie was your partner on the radio for a while. You worked together, right?
We did work together, yes.
They both were like 6'6", 6'7". Isn't that what Theus was? Both don't guard. They make a cursory effort. Both have bad shot selection, but there'll be games where you go, wow, you get 39. Wow, what a game.
West Coast guys.
Yes, and they're all West Coast.
I don't think LaVine could have a mustache like Reggie Theus, even in his dreams. I don't think he could grow that mustache.
He was Rush Street Reggie. You could see him with a blonde on one arm and a brunette on the other
And a fur coat on.
in the summer.
Yes.
I'm just telling you. Shay, you have to be where I was as a kid. We had very few heroes around here, like Harold Baines, Michael Jordan, Walter Payton, and Reggie was one of them. You can go into a black household and see Reggie Theus, Walter Payton, and God on the wall in a black household back then. This is before Jordan, by the way.
He's right.
So I told Reggie that he didn't really understand how important he was to the city, but it's deja vu all over again because Reggie was the best player on a bad team when he's with the Bulls. And the same thing here with Zach.
I've got them side by side. I'm telling you what, he's right. Reggie had a way better mustache. Zach has a better goatee, but they are like the same player, man.
Yeah. All right, Shay.
All right, in the words of Chance the Rapper, let's do that hockey. Little reporting caught my eye about the Blackhawks. They have the number 2 pick in the draft, and reports from other NHL executives suggest the Hawks are looking to bring in top free agents this offseason. Pierre LeBrun reported that Kyle Davidson is looking for a top 6 forward and perhaps also a middle 6 forward. The Blackhawks actually might be looking to, quote-unquote, get good a little sooner than expected with Connor Bedard in town. There are questions out there. I've been asked if they could target an older player who was still productive last season, about a point-a-game player. Shot or no shot, the Blackhawks should bring back Patrick Kane.
Blackhawks. Blackhawks.
Doubled up on that one.
Okay.
Blackhawks.
Look, I'm a big Patrick Kane fan.
Wow.
And if it was me, yeah, I would do that.
No shot.
But Kyle Davidson spoke the other day. I want to say it was to Ben Pope from the Sun-Times. It might have been Lazarus, our guy, Mark Lazarus. And he said no. He's already ruled it out.
No Kane.
No Kane.
Yeah.
I'll find the quote.
He said no, but my question is, should he say yes? Kane, I get it. He's older. He's been here. It's happened already, but he was still a point-a-game player last year.
He
wasn't great.
I would say no shot, Cap. I think we could turn the page. If you're trying to reimagine the hockey club with younger assets and you're adding veterans, I mean, I'd like to see Patrick Kane return to the Blackhawks, but being honored when his career is over. He doesn't need to come back to try to help this iteration of the Blackhawks. I mean, and by the way, that does nothing for attendance. I think Hawks fans are still going because Bedard is the draw. They're still going to the games.
Yeah.
You don't need Kane for that.
It's from Ben Pope, Sun-Times. Just talked to Kyle Davidson at the NHL Combine in Buffalo. Notably, he shot down any possibility of a Patrick Kane reunion. He did have a really good year. I think we're all really happy to see that. But we made some really tough decisions on some long-standing players. I don't foresee us going back on that. He's not coming back.
But I like, Shay, what you just laid out there as far as commitment for the Blackhawks. So you're last in the Central. Obviously, this was a rebuilding situation. The Blackhawks, unlike some organizations around here, are truthful up front to tell you, hey, we are rebuilding. Davidson pretty much told you that in the press conference. You recall this, right, Kap?
Yes.
At the beginning? Because, we are restocking. We're going to build this thing around Bedard. Okay. I like the idea that they could be aggressive here in the offseason to add some veteran seasoning. That only helps Bedard and also gets you out of 23 wins from last year. Could you imagine a 10-win swing for the Hawks if you're adding some veteran seasoning around Bedard?
Be super cool.
That doesn't mean the playoffs necessarily, but at least it gets you better. Kind of like the Bears model. You want to be able to get incrementally better every year. I'd like that. Not necessarily Kane, but I'd like them to be able to find some scoring around Bedard.
Yeah, I'm like, Patrick Kane still owns a home in the Chicago area. I'm a big fan of Patrick's. I am. But I just read you the quote from the GM. Does not sound like they're bringing him back.
Sounds like Jake Gensel from the Hurricanes.
Okay.
30-goal scorer, 77 points in 67 games. Could be in play. Actually, it's exciting. It got me excited when I read it. It's like instead of a carcass of a team with a good player, we might actually have something to watch on a nightly basis now.
That's a good thing.
Super cool.
That's a good thing.
Super cool.
Shay, can you squeeze in one more, or do we have to go?
Yeah, I'll get one more in quickly because there's just a weird narrative out there now. After the Celtics went up 3-0 in the NBA Finals, I've been seeing a lot of media types say this has been a boring playoffs, one of the worst playoffs in NBA history. Obviously, there's been a lack of star power. A lot of the stars got injured and missed time. Embiid, Giannis, Tyrese Halliburton, Kap was out about before the show. But there were also multiple Game 7s. There was the Anthony Edwards rise, the Mavs' surprising run through the Western Conference. There were things in this that were entertaining. Jalen Brunson for the Knicks. I missed when it was boring when all of that was happening. So shot or no shot, the playoffs haven't been boring. People just hate Boston.
Both things can be true.
Well, for me, I don't hate Boston. I do not. I actually respect the city of Boston as far as their management across the board, Kap. The Patriots, the Bruins, the Red Sox, and the Celtics. The one thing they have in common, there's patience. You would think there'd be impatience with a city like Boston, sports crazed city, there's actually patience there. And it's the same thing like Brad Stevens running the Celtics team. He didn't say, oh, my God, this Brown and Tatum, this thing will never work. We need to split them up. No, he paid Brown handsomely.
Right. He tuned out the musings of people like Shane Norling, who a year ago, this guy sucks. He can't dribble. I'm watching him break people down off the dribble, finish at the rack. He might be their best player.
I agree with you. Jaylen Brown might be their best player. And it's something listen, when you grow as much as he has as a player in 13 months, I'll tip my cap to it. A year ago, he was dribbling the ball off of his own ass against the Miami Heat, and we got ousted. And now he's taking guys off the dribble. He's got more bounce. It seems just like a different player. I'll respect it when he shows me that he's different, and he has.
So I would say that now I don't hate Boston, but the front end of that is what, Shay? The front end is the playoffs being boring. Well, can I tell you something? It doesn't matter if the players are healthy or not. Here's what we know about NBA fans. It's boring when your team doesn't win, when your team's not in the mix. That's the whole thing. That's how regional basketball has gotten. That's the problem. It's like LeBron James, right? If LeBron James was a Bull, people would be blowing their skirt up for LeBron James. Oh, my God, LeBron. But he's not a Bull. He is with the Los Angeles Lakers. So, LeBron sucks. That's the whole thing with it, Cap. The whole thing is that anyone that looks at the NBA playoffs as boring is because your team's not competing.
Well, the other problem was when we got down to the nitty-gritty, Giannis is out, Embiid is banged up, Jalen Brunson, Game 7 was not fun to watch for people that cheered for the Knicks. Who else went down? Donovan Mitchell went down.
Yeah.
We've had injury after injury. It just has not been as compelling as I had hoped.
Even if they were healthy, people would bitch about the NBA. Even if they were healthy, because those series would be what they are. But that's how it works in the league. If your team's not winning, everything else sucks. That's how it works. That's how it is.